I'm OP, and in today's episode, we will be going over some of the best highlights from the matchup between T1 and DK during Round 3 of the LCK 2024 Spring Playoffs. Without further ado, let's dive straight into the action.
Will survive that one. Gumayusi actually taking a lot of damage as well. As you can see, Ono down here towards the bottom side. And Lucid gonna have to get here if they want to avoid some sort of dive. Looks like this wave not massively stacked as the snare is fantastic. Kerry is too far forward, but he is going to be able to survive with the flash. Still, disaster for T1. This early game is everything for this bottom lane.
Oh, Ignite, but Ono is on his way.
Sidestep, my god. Kellen playing with fire as well. I think they're pretty aware of the fact that this ward is down as Lucid will find Ona. I am pretty sure aiming now, walking after Gumayusi as well as he flashes forward, stacks up the blight. Will he hit the arrow? He will, but it's not enough. Always drink your potions.
Once upon a time, the skills were changed as we might have a 3v3 here.
Yeah, Lucid in position. Might need to safeguard over to Showmaker as they're looking to engage.
Aiming!
Ellen moves on down. Aiming's already here as well. As Wind Become Lightning does come down, but Carrier looks to be the one in trouble in the arrow. It's going to ring true this time around. First blood goes to Aiming. As well, and that's going to be really important. We mentioned map control being a huge thing. Wow, Kellen gonna get engaged on here, doesn't have shape splitter, but there's the ulti, does do a fair bit, but he's still gonna go down. Teleports coming in everywhere as Faker moves on in. Showmaker also down here, Lucid in decent position.
These plates and further build the gold lead.
Ooh, Chains of Corruption are going to connect here as Pop Blossom comes down. Gumayusi, that's a decent flash, but Lucid's still on top of him. The flash forward, the Hextech Ultimatum comes down. Now Ona gets on in there. Lucid will be taken out. Carrier down to half, but look at Ona. He is an absolute monster in this fight. Only 50% of his health bar goes down, and Faker wants even more. Aiming just by himself under the turret. The flash has to come out to avoid the shockwave. We need to see Showmaker actually join up with some of these fights. Very close to that Lichbane, my goodness. Goldcard going to connect onto Kingen here towards the top side. He's not too worried about it. Just wants to finish off his Trinity Force as quickly as possible. And now the arrow doing a fair bit of work here. Lucid just trying to avoid this dragon killing him.
Showmaker is here.
Yeah, Faker on the flank there as well. Ono just walks over, presses his smite button, and that is going to collect the Drake. Also just presses Crescent Guard and takes 0 damage, as you generally do. So he only has the Counter-Strike to be able to make that one work. So now, Lucid coming down. Ono and Faker here looking to try and stop Showmaker, but he's not going to stop. He has got his Lichbane, and he is cutting through these turrets. Man, that third item that we're not really sure about because he tends to win or lose before that even comes in. As Carrier is going to face check and just get kicked to his doom. He does last a little bit longer. Hextech Ultimatum coming on down there, but that is going to be Kellen getting his revenge.
Kellen getting the kill is a little bit silly there. Showmaker.
Yeah, there's a Moonfall as well onto Zeus. Remember, does not have his flash available. The flash forward into the Pop Blossom. And the snare comes down. Took a while, but the TF does go down. Faker does get here, though. Showmaker with the Pale Cascade shield is going to hold on, but there is the shockwave back onto only. Kellen Lucid misses the Q, though. And that means Ona, he dives back in, but this is 2 versus 4. I don't know whether they necessarily...
Aiming definitely does need respect, and fortunately does so.
Yeah. Charge to come through from Shelly as well. I think that this will just take down the turret, and there it goes. So T1 able to grab that loot.
Going over as well. T1, I think, are pretty reliant on actually getting into the enemy backline immediately. There's a ton of great ball delivery systems, and they don't have really the setup here and decide instead to go for a cross-map play as we...
Sausages in the chat, please. And hopefully he thinks a little bit more. Oh, that was a bit of a weird moment as Chains of Corruption will connect the immediate punishment, but the Fate's Call does come down. Snare onto Gumayusi, who's now looking to try and hop this one out. Showmaker looking for him, though the exhaust comes down to lower the damage, but he's still in melee range. Hextech Ultimatum still comes in, but it's 2 kills that go down for DK. The answering kill is there from Zeus. Showmaker going down relatively low, but the Q is going to land onto the Twist of Fate. It's going to leave the Diana completely exposed, and T1 will answer with a couple of kills of their own. Kingen still wanting a little bit more, though, and he's just dove on top of Zeus. There's the flash, and they'll lock down the kill. Kingen still wanting to fight. This Jax just freed from his solo lane, now wanting to get work done.
No soul point available due to the earlier steal from Owner.
Not to mention the Drake just taking a really long time to go down. Carrier is already very, very low. Mega Cone going to bring Kingen towards this dragon. As Ona could come over for a cheeky step if he would like to, and he's not going to be able to secure it this time around. Second Drake for DK will go their way, and now the fight is on. There's the safeguard cancel does manage to break the arm guard off Faker.
Fans are very cool weapons. I'm a big fan, personally.
Yeah, you're, well, a big fan. You could be a weapon. It's okay. The ulti does come on through from Ona, but he's not going to be able to get out of the way. Oh, the Hextech ultimatum is decent. The Pop Blossom comes down as well. The first kill does come through as the Lee Sin will be taken out. The shockwave is gigantic! And the TF takes down the Varus in the backline as well. I think DK may have ran out of battle power, and they have. T1 on the back of Faker's shockwave will move to the Baron.
And whoever makes the first move is the one that gets punished. And this time around, it's DK.
Put down, and instantly it is just destroyed. Feels bad. It's a lot of his hard work. And this outer turret, not long for the world. That is turret number 2K.
Showmaker is level 16, does have his level 3 ultimate and flash, but that really is the one angle. There are a lot of squishies on T1. If you can get a heroic Diana play.
Well, Shockwave does come on through there as he does find a Moonfall onto 3, and into the backline goes Lucid, but he just pops like a balloon. They cannot do anything about it. Kingen now having to get out of there as the dissonance damage is just gigantic. Kellen down to about 1 health, and in goes Ona. He'll be able to take down the Nico here as Carrier diving forward. Hextech ultimatum going down. Zeus just uses him as a distraction as he tidies up absolutely everyone, and DK.
That is going to be a game number 1, Atlas. It was a tense fight, but one big mistake from DK around the Baron is all that T1 needed, and they're going to go up 1-0 in the series.
And Faker just coming in clutch in the end around that Baron. That is going to spell defeat for DK and a 1-0 lead for T1. Their first game victory here. I was going to say, like, that is a gambit that T1 are taking. You could see Koma's face. He was like, he didn't just lock that in, did he?
Say it.
Frost is going to be utilized. Ona now fighting Lucid, but this is a dangerous one. Zeus moves on down as Lucid needs to be so careful. Is Ona going to go down? No, he's not. The Blue Moth getting aggressive, but there is Showmaker. He doesn't have flash though, remember, so he's likely to fall down. It's a fantastic cage. There's Zeus. He gets knocked into the sky, and Showmaker's trying to walk it off. Faker flashing after him. Now Kingen chasing down the Emperor. Does manage to get the slow here, and he finds it. He has the red buff here as well as Faker trying to get out of the way. That Q just not finding the mark as Faker just shifts the sands over the wall.
Get picked up as we do have Drake.
Yeah, possible fight for this one as there is full information over here.
On the go.
Yeah, Showmaker trying to clear out vision, but I don't think he's going to be able to make anything happen. No flash available. As Ona will take a little bit of poke, but otherwise not too. We can see pings out. Kellen moving on forward. Showmaker just trying to block as the Emperor's Divide does come down. He gets over the wall. The flash hook is going to ring true here for Kellen, and the cage is going to come out as well. Faker, not long for the world, and Lucid will pick up that kill.
Actually going to give the kill.
I always get a little bit worried here because oftentimes they do manage to build leads, but in this series, just the gold lead has not really moved.
Got it all
like
in,
20 minutes.
TP advantage.
Yeah, let's see what they can get done here as the hook is going to connect, but it's on to Carrier. The cage comes down as well, but it's not enough to stun him up. DK should be able to get themselves their first dragon as Kingen teleported in. There's the knock-up with the 3 Talon strike. Looks like he is going to be okay. There's a flash in from Kellen, but it finds nothing. Still terrible, but it's not as terrible. So there you go. Aiming up here as well, he's going to be able to grab this plate as now Carrier by himself is going to get hooked up as Lucid finding himself a stun as well. Aiming just wanting to maximize the amount of plates that he can pick up as teleport in from T1. Kellen knows that he's really dead, and that is going to be a kill going over to Goomer as well. And Faker, he wants even more good flash out there from aiming. He's still going to have to vacate the area. There's a flash forward, the ulti. The Q didn't land. Therefore, Zeus will survive. Gets on top of Kellen, but his dredge line was already being buffered.
They're going to have to give it up, and they need to be careful because there is a lot of engage. Carrier has his ultimate available.
Yep.
It's just going to be Herald. But first Third Blood, probably going to be able to go over here. Faker, though, once he shows up.
Well, Lucid going to make this one a 50-50. Let's see what can happen. It is going to be the steal away as so much AoE damage coming down. The Dawning Shadow, massive value as Zeus has made his way into the fight. It's a 1-for-1 so far, but the Bane is starting to pop off. Lucid gets over the wall, and now Showmaker left for dead. No flash because he used it earlier, and it's a double kill. Zeus now finally set up for some success.
Showmaker doesn't have his TP just yet. Zeus is hiding in the fog of war, but as soon as Showmaker shows, he's going to keep on pushing. T1 are forcing DK to make a decision.
Yeah, and there's the flash forward. The cage is down there as well.
Done.
And he's just dead. Ona taken out. That is the pick you were looking for, but this is the problem. T1, is it going to be worth it for DK if this inner turret goes down? And I just don't know, because 700 gold going over to just Zeus, then the global gold as well.
To be fair, if you don't see Zeus, you lose the fight anyway, so who cares how fat he is? It's fine.
Yeah.
Is what DK is probably saying in comms right now. Is that true? We'll have to see how the game progresses. It's going to be the second Drake going over, but again, due to the early Drake from T1, no soul point, which is something that I think they would ideally really like to have.
Another 4 minutes, and it's not even a soul. It is just soul point that they'll be
Fight?
fighting for, as Kellen now finds himself in amongst two. Showmaker and Lucid a little bit too far away. I don't know whether they're going to be able to save him, but he gets a big old shield. Showmaker flashes away, and T1 are just going to jump down on top of him. He can't click the blast cone.
He's running.
It's a disaster. Meanwhile, the fight on the top side is also T1 favored. Faker takes down the Cassante. Lucid, I'm not sure about this one. He's trying to get his way out.
So dead.
As Zeus is chasing after him. Vayne pretty good at chasing you down, as it turns out, as he tumbles forward.
It's not enough. Can they make a hero play? Showmaker does have smite and TP.
Okay, let's see whether Showmaker can get something crazy
Aiming his
done.
ult. Oh, double TP.
He has
Might be
done
able
it
to win
before.
this.
Yeah, exactly.
They know. Yeah, they
has to
see
get
it. They're like,
himself
no,
out. They're going to pick this one up. Okay, so it's going to have to be Showmaker's smite that wins this one out. Carrier does have teleport. He can make his way back in. This is Baron not going down anytime soon. Both
Carrier
teams
behind
looking
them
for a little bit of an engage. As they're trying to block him off, they're going to see whether they can kill the Sejuani before this one is even a problem. But the all-out comes over the wall. It's absolutely fantastic. They take down Ona. But still, Faker's able to hunt down the Cassante. Showmaker once again trying to run from Zeus. He gets himself a big old shield, but he won't find the cage. And he's on 1 health. The flash forward from Boomer is going to be what gets it done. And there is another team fight victory for T1 here. Lucid just showing up as the rest of his teammates take a dirt nap.
This is Zeus. Obviously, he has RFC, Stormrazor, and Triforce.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very scary
It's
thing.
gone.
Yeah, and that is there is absolutely no contesting this one. It is just a second dragon for T1, and it's Chemtech, so probably not.
Seeing as, I don't know if they're going to be able to try and contest this. They're going to give it their all.
Yeah, teleport going to come on forward from the Cassante. They got what they wanted. Let's see whether T1 stick around for a fight. The beta cage not really doing too much here.
Keeping an aggro, but going to drop it after all.
Yeah.
Maybe an actual 5v5.
Piercing Darkness able to keep them very healthy in this fight as well as the Sand Soldiers go forward. That's another cage. Hook is going to come through. No one's stunned though. And there's the re-engage. Kellen's down so incredibly low. And there is the pick-off. Cassante trying to get some Cassante things done, but it does not work. It's another kill for the Vayne. I think that makes it 7 for Zeus on the top side of the map. DK, they still don't want to give this one up. As Lucid does get into the mist.
Fast.
Yeah, no, this is just absolutely
They can't
ridiculous.
cage him. Literally.
And the Baron is getting down lower and lower, aiming, just taking pot shots here from Zeus. He's just able to walk out of the way of the burst fire. The Baron just going to be... And T1 are now bearing down on the base. They still have 2 minutes of this Baron buff. As that is a nice little flash hook from Kellen. Empress Divide is going to get Faker out of the way though. Still, they do manage to get the flash and the ulti, but they'll sacrifice an inhibitor turret for it.
He didn't have the ult. If he gets the ult Faker, then he might be able to kill him. The cage.
Yeah, cage does go down. They push them into it, but Kingen can't really tank them up. Glacial Prison comes down. Carrier so incredibly tanky. Ona's going to be the first one to grab a kill in this fight. Another cage is going to work out as Lucid diving on board. He's got the Vayne, and Lucid's now trying to tumble his way to victory, but he'll be taken out as well. And I think DK are just that little bit too far behind. T1, they do lose their top laner. He has been a hero. On the not so plus side, they don't get to farm any of their jungle or any of the dragons or have any vision around any of the barons or anything else.
Yeah, I know. Everyone can see that, Dplus. And we're trying to find new angles here.
And try and contest. So now the real final team fight is going to be upon us. DK, I guess they have a chance of potentially winning a fight.
Guys, T1 about to bring in the match point with this Baron buff.
Extendo Beam does no damage to these minions. You can see, okay, in goes Ona. Immediate cleanse from Showmaker. And yeah, that was just Ona going in. That's all that really gets them anything. And the inhibitors have just
not the triple inhib
as well. Kellen,
They know.
wanting to find an angle, they spot him out. Mega Blast Cone is something that he can possibly use for a cheeky little angle, but it's not going to be before these inhibitors have all gone down. And Kellen's still just like trying to work out what he can do. The answer is nothing, as there's the explosion onto aiming, the primary target, and he has to go back to the fountain. Kingan's also having to dash away. It's going to leave their whole base exposed to Zeus. He'll be taken out. But even with 4 members, look at all of these minions. They are just gigantic. Kellen's made it to the backline though. And Aiming's got his health back with the Nexus. It's so incredibly low, and there it goes. T1, match point. Stages of the game. I feel like T1, composition-wise, is going to be a lot more well-rounded. They have so much CC. They have so many options when it comes to disengage and creating chaos in these teamfights.
That said, this is really...
Zeus does have his gold card armed. We'll just throw it at Kingan here, as we can see. But that does mean that Kingan now has an opportunity to get a lot of damage down. Q going to connect, and Zeus will be taken down. That is first blood. Gold card not enough to hold him in place.
The cleanse, still a nice little win there, as we do have towards top side now the grubbies being taken.
Okay, Showmaker gonna spot Faker. Emperor's Divide's gonna push him under the turret. Spirit Rush has to be employed. And now, Ona trying to get some work done here onto Lucid, but it is just a fight for the campers. There's the flash in! Okay, Gumayushi gonna get all of those sticks thrown into him. And the Ren does come down. The Ignite's still taking the bailout. They didn't wait quite long enough, but aiming, he might be able to get it, and there it is. Now Carrier running for the hills, but he will make it to the safety of his turret. Well,
they don't know that yet.
Yeah, Shattering Strike to connect onto Gumayushi here, who's a bit disconnected. Crashdown to come through as well. He's now aiming very slowly, trying to dance around this fight. In goes Kellen with the Fate's Call, as the pushback with the Heroic Charge is gorgeous. And now Showmaker getting amongst it. The Spirit Rush working out as Gumayushi desperately trying to hunt down Kellen. He'll find it, but he will die immediately. And trading support for AD carry generally not exactly something you'd say is worth.
Aiming also getting further ahead.
Rotations.
This is a big moment.
Yeah.
They gotta get this dragon.
Full vision available for T1.
Shooting fight. Zeus will be a little bit behind the play, even with his ult.
Yeah, and there's an equalizer not available for King, and still does not matter. DK stacking these dragons up. A composition like this certainly can have a bit of added longevity. They can utilize a Herald in order to get that one going, as well as Kellen off to the side unseen for now, as T1 were thinking about trying to contest, and they're not going to. Just going to be the Herald going over to DK.
T1 spots him. They're like, we can't actually make our way over. His owner is here.
Yeah, Heroic Charge onto Kellen. Actually finds a lot of value. He's going to get that knockup. Magnetstorm comes in. Lucid going to come on back. And now Showmaker has teleported forward. Ono is burning down. He's got the bailout, but look at the AoE. It is disgusting. Gumayushi once again going completely ham. As Faker going to get missed by that one. Zeus moving up. Remember, there is no rumble. Okay, yeah, that is kind of worth.
It was only Kingan's flash. I just don't know how.
Yeah.
Because I saw Owner come in.
Oh, God. No, Chronicle, do you know what it is? It's Merctread's value.
Oh my God!
Hooney, we're so sorry. We're starting to believe in the Merctreads. Oh God! Oh no!
It's gonna be the second Drake by itself. Not enough if it was Soul Point, but T1 have been mega consistent in getting at least a single. We don't know. I don't have these answers, unfortunately, but it is not enough just yet. This mid lane turret needs to fall.
Arrow gonna connect here onto Showmaker, who does make it out. Emperor's Divide's going to connect as well. Showmaker will be taken down, aiming. Gets off the Fate's Call, so they're not going to lose too much more, but that is...
Mean Moors, yeah, I love this from DK. We've seen them just give up these objectives so many times. Just start it up, although as I say that, they immediately peel off because of the ult.
Yep. A lot of vision available here with the Destiny, and now Kingan gonna have to flash to get himself out of the way of this. And Equalizer, it goes down, but they are just gonna chain CC him to death. Showmaker tried to get over there, but it's not going to work out. And now the Blast Cone gets T1 completely formed back up again. That charm, absolutely amazing, but there is the dragon going over. It's Faker that secures it. Exhaust onto Showmaker. He's still very dangerous, but he doesn't find the charm. And the Rel will go down. Lucid is super dead. He will be taken out here by Faker, and T1
is such a heartbreaking moment for DK.
Yeah, they played out the early game, just not quite able to build that snowball large enough.
That's going to be Nash.
Yeah, Baron going to be secured here. So 1,500 on the clock as far as that. It's going to be so difficult as he doesn't quite find the, anything at all, really. And he's just going to be taken down.
They're still going.
Yeah, Kellen going in now. He'll be hit by an arrow. There's an equalizer. That's going to do a fair bit of work. The Fate's Call comes down. They at least get the Twisted Fate. Kellen going to have to try and canter his way out.
Might still look for a Hail Mary fight.
Might still stand a chance. The arrow is going to go wide. Equalizer goes down. I mean, it's a lot of AoE damage, but there are not a lot of members of DK in this area. They'll do a fair bit of work. Showmaker now trying to get in there. Lucid off to the side. He'll connect a Q. But with a Poppy in the area, you just cannot go in with a Resonating Strike. Safeguard to try and get Lucid out of there. And Showmaker, he's down to about 400. He needs to go back to base.
And this has been the result.
Yeah, Kingen throwing down a very early Equalizer here. And Gumayushi standing in that brush. They're just trying to keep them interested. Of course, Zeus, he cannot get down here. Doesn't even have the ult if he's going to walk into that area. You're going to connect there onto Ona. Steadfast presence at the ready. As T1, they're just looking to try and find an exit, trying to find a way out. DK trying to find a way in. There is the engage. Magnustorm pulls Ona back in. Fate's Call going to be utilized here is now Showmaker. He's fishing, trying to find an opportunity. Empress Divide, it connects only onto Aiming, who will now just try and kill the rest of his team because it was a fantastic hostile takeover. And now Lucid gets into the backline. Kerry is the last man standing, and it's Kingen finally making this Rumble work in a team fight.
I'm pretty sure Zeus could have made it if he just walked over at some point, but no! T1 pretty confident that they can just get out of here because their comp is really hard to engage on. They do have the bailout, but if you just keep taking pot shots, keep taking damage, eventually things are going to be, is not going to let a Battle Rumble ruin his day.
No, he is doing damage. And okay, into the backline goes Lucid. And then out of the backline goes Lucid, and he's now hit by an arrow. Fate's Call, as DK know that they need to start this fight. Faker, he finds the Rumble with the Emperor's Divide, but Showmaker's also going to be able to take down the Twisted Fate. Look at these health bars, they're so low. On DK's side, it's only Showmaker that still has any fight left in him. Still, it is a 1-for-1 trade of top laners, and T1 are still going to start off this Baron.
Of course, and Lucid, I don't know, he flashed in at the end there, and you see him.
I didn't even notice him die, I'm not gonna lie.
Head in his hands.
Okay, Zeus.
Oh.
Walk in. There it is, the engage, and Zeus is just gonna be taken down. So T1 once again come on through, and now the destiny has dissipated. Zeus now looking for that flank himself. Kellen taken 50% down as Faker, he's going to get himself out of there. It should be the Drake, a possibility. The secure for Ona, and they deny the soul. And now, can they actually win the fight as well as everyone's in the Thunderdome? Lucid is going to try and kick away the Azir, the equalizer, just not doing quite as much as it wants to do, and he's stuck inside the pit with nowhere to go. And DK, they're now going to get flanked by Faker. He finds two with the Emperor's Divide, and that is going to be that. That will be the 3-0 as welcome back T1. They will go to the lower bracket final in Jumpshill next weekend.
DK, they had an incredible series against Gen G, but it seems like tonight that magic remains only in place when they face that team. T1, dispatch of them in a 3-0 sweep.
These were some of the best highlights from today's LCK 2024 Spring Split matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.